Reconvene the regular meeting of the Lakeport City Council, Tuesday, December 15th, 2015. We are returning from our closed session item, which was conference with legal counsel on anticipated litigation. The specific matter was the appeal of the Verizon wireless application. And our reportable action is that we have voted unanimously to allow for a tolling agreement and authorized our city attorney to sign said agreement and present that to Verizon Wireless.
You want the term?
Oh, it'll be termed from 6 months beginning December 1st and expiring 6 months from that date, December 1st, 2015. Okay, well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the City Council meeting. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Turner? Here. Councilmember Mattina?
Here.
Councilmember Spielman?
Here.
Councilmember Parlay?
Here.
Mayor Shield?
Here. And David, is a moment of silence okay? It's not agendized.
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would please stand with me, I would like to express a moment of silence to a retired Fire Chief Ken Wells, who passed away recently, and our condolences go out to the Wells friends and family, which is vast here in Lake County, and I'm sure many of you are in that very circle. Thank you. And if you would all please remain standing and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Do we have any urgency items for tonight's agenda? All right, seeing none, we have a posted agenda, and I would entertain a motion to accept the agenda as posted.
I'll make a motion to accept the agenda. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next, we have a City Council reorganization, and this will be handled by our City Clerk, Ms. Buendia.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the Council. Every year in December, the City Council holds its annual reorganization meeting. And at this time, we will hold an election for the mayor and the mayor pro tem. I will ask for nominations. They do not have to be seconded, but they do need to be accepted by the nominee. And then we will have a vote with the first nominated voted upon first. So with that, I will ask for any nominations for the mayor's seat.
I would like to nominate Councilmember Mark Spielman for the mayoral position for the upcoming year.
I'm honored. I accept.
Okay. Do we have any other nominations? With that, I will call for a vote for Mark Spielman for mayor. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And next we will accept nominations for the mayor pro tem seat. Do we have any nominations?
Can I ask one quick question?
Absolutely.
Pro Tem Mattina, you have been the pro tem for 3 years out of your possible 8 that you were elected for. I would like to ask you first whether it would be an inconvenience or in any way bad to nominate you for mayor pro tem again. It would be a normal rotation for you to come in as mayor behind me.
You know, I was kind of wondering, we've never really had a normal rotation. So I'd be honored, Mark. I'd love to help you. I'm not sure. Thank you.
Well, if that is the case, then I would be happy to nominate the current pro tem to be the future pro tem.
You don't have to change your business cards if that works.
No, it works out
I
great.
just got a brand new name badge, and I was really saddened to think I would only.
Well, this would be 4 years out of 8. It is unusual, so I appreciate that.
Okay, and I understand that to be an acceptance.
Yes.
Okay, and do we have any more nominations for mayor pro tem? Okay, well with that, I will take a vote. Please signify whether you want Stacy Mattina for the Mayor Pro Tem seat by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. You may be seated in the
Have your seats.
proper seats. Okay, good.
It comes out easier those than that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You need to change your, oh, no, you don't.
You know,
And Mr. Mayor, if I may, I would just like to say thank you to the citizens of Lakeport, my fellow council members here. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve the city of Lakeport, all of you, and really those within the county for the past year. It's been a great experience, and I know Mark will do a good job, and look forward to another great year here in the city of Lakeport. So, thank you.
Well, and Martin, you've been a wonderful mayor,
Wonderful.
set an excellent role model, and something we can all work towards doing the same.
Thanks,
Thank
Pro Tem.
you.
well, from this seat, I'd like to thank the public again for coming in tonight, helping us fill these commissions and committees. We'll try to get you out of here tonight before the doors freeze. If any of the public would like to speak on anything that's not on our agenda tonight, there are forms on the back table. Please fill those out and bring those up to the city clerk. Now would be a good time. We can't take a consensus or take any action on those items, but we're hostage up here, so you might as well take advantage of it if you'd like to talk to us. And you could even complain that I'm the mayor without a tie. I'd like to take one quick moment before we go into the consent agenda. There's one thing I would like to mention, which would be maybe a little bit of a fly in the ointment, is I am not going to be returning to the city council after this year. I have increasing family and new business responsibilities, and it's 95% good stuff for my family, but I would like to give the time to the public, anyone that is considering taking this position, to have the time this year to look at that and hopefully fill a seat up here. And that's it. Other than that, we'll move on to item number 5, which is
Jerry Garcia, nonetheless.
I'm really tempted to put that on, but I don't know. I haven't seen your medical. We'll move on now to item number 5, which is our consent agenda. It's considered routine and non-controversial. These items will be acted upon at one time, but any council member can pull any item that needs to be pulled for discussion. Our first item is item number A, the ordinances. These are waived except by title. Item number B, we have our minutes. Approve the minutes of the regular council meeting of December 1st, 2015. Item number C, we have the warrant registers of December 10th, 2015. Item number D is a big one. We have a conflict of interest code. Approve the resolution of the City Council of the City of Lakeport, the successor agency to the Lakeport Redevelopment Agency, the Board of the City of Lakeport Municipal Sewer District, the Lakeport Industrial Development Authority, and the Municipal Financing Agency of Lakeport, amending and adopting an updated conflict of interest code. Lastly, we have item E, which is the Lakeport Economic Development Advisory Committee. We're going to approve the removal of a committee member from basically the lead ad committee. Would any of the council members like to pull any of those items?
Mayor?
Yes.
I'd like it to be noted in the minutes that for personal reasons I will be abstaining from item E.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Beyond that, any other items that need to be pulled or discussed? Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Anyone from the audience have any comments? Okay. I'm sorry.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, by aye?
Aye.
And any opposed? And one abstained. We move on. Hillary, do we have any citizen input?
No.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have a presentation of the winners of the annual holiday lighted decoration contest, which is kind of nice because I believe we get to meet our new executive director of Main Street, Annette Talia, and Barb is even coming up here.
Oh, I know. I'm so lucky I always be in front of you guys. You look so
Oh, no, we're
professional.
lucky.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you didn't go around kicking goats all the time, you wouldn't have a cane.
What'd you say? Repeat that.
If you didn't go around kicking goats all the time, you wouldn't have a cane.
What we'll do with you, this is, I would like to present our new executive director, Annette Talia.
I could have.
Although I've missed most of
You have that most, but just for the record, okay? She's doing a good job right now.
That's because she's been down here so much.
I know. See, good. We were so lucky. I apologize that we didn't have more of a presents at Christmas, but we did get a lot of the stores lit, as well as some vacant ones, which was very nice. And we're looking forward to next year. And we did have a little pet parade, and I think about 70 young children saw Santa Claus, and they were really happy, and he was happy. And we had a little rain dance, a little hot chocolate, and everything turned out lovely. And thank you for that, for helping so much. Anyway, so we are here because of the decorations, and we're going to start. Oh, by the way, Mark, you were one of our judges, so you were on the nameplate. And you, Hillary, and your husband were there. And we also had, we had Al, pronounce the last name for me. Macheka? No, I really murdered it. Okay, don't put that down, how I said it anyway. So anyway, we will get the winners. Oh, and Nicole Rosellas. So, if I could have, are you going to give me something? Okay, let's start here. We're going to start with the residents, and would Paul and the Thomases come up? Are you here? Paul, Celia, Matthew, Thomas. They're on 935 Central Park Street, and they won 3rd place, and we will have their money and their plaque for them, because they didn't want to come tonight. So congratulations to them. And 2nd place, oh my God, I love these names. Groman Dyke, Keith, and Mary. I thought you were here. And they're at 985 Page Drive in Lakeport. There you go. Thank you very much. Everything was lovely. Thank you. And 1st place, Matt Harrell.
Yay!
It was beautiful. Thank you for that. And his is at 1186 Page Drive. Congratulations and thank you from all of us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Page Drive representing.
Wow.
Yes, very.
Now I know where to go to get my ideas.
Well, why weren't you on this?
Yeah.
Why weren't you on decorating for the residents for your place?
Oh, I do.
Don't look at me surprised.
It would be appropriate if I won.
Hell, we could put it under somebody else's name. Okay, 3rd place for our businesses. It is Meals on Wheels. You need the address for Meals on Wheels. It's 120 North Main. Congratulations so much, and you got some money there for you too. Okay. And 2nd place, we have Flowers by Jackie. And it looks so beautiful. Oh, thank you. And congratulations, you got money. Oh, anytime. With all those lights, you needed some extra money. Okay, and for 1st place, we have Pieces Boutique. 155. You did an awesome Awesome job.
Thank you.
Thanks to both of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. You made Lakeport a lot prettier. So we thank you. Do you have any questions?
No, Martin Kelly, I'd just like to thank you for putting this on. I know that
It's
Panette went out, and I couldn't believe when we showed up to judge, and there was 24 businesses to be looked at on Main Street. That has to be a record, and it shows right off the bat that you're able to go out there and twist some arms and get some stuff done. So that's wonderful.
yes, and even the businesses that there was nobody there. She had other people come in and decorate so that it more lights. So thank you all.
We'd like to thank everybody. Thank you.
Okay.
Main Street. Next up, we have a presentation, item C, a presentation by Taylor Johnson of the Lake Minstrel Association regarding the opening of a warming center this winter.
Hello,
Hello.
I'm Taylor Johnson. This is Pastor Shannon from United Christian Parish and the chair of the Lake Ministerial Association. And we wanted to have, I thought that you guys might have a little projector like last time, so I could do my PowerPoint, but that's okay. I'll just present a few facts and background stuff.
Sorry about that, when Dan Buffalo's not here, sometimes we lack on the PowerPoint.
It's all right, no problem. All right, so in Lakeport this year in January, Lake County, sorry. In Lake County this year, 170 people were identified as homeless. That was from our point-in-time count that we do on an annual basis, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's also probably because it is pretty undercounted. After consulting some other people who work with homelessness in Lake County, they said that this number was really undercounted. Also, Department of Social Services said that the point-in-time count has not been the best in the last few years. So about 170 people, though, still were counted on the streets. As we all know, the Valley Fire has left us with really bad housing issue in the county, and probably a lot more displaced people. In addition to the disaster, we didn't have any of those kind of safety nets in the first place. We don't have public housing, we don't have any homeless shelters, and there's already a wait list for Section 8. So we just want to be able to keep people out of the cold this winter. I know a lot of different places around the county have done this in the past, having a warming center or a place for people to come and spend the night. It's a very temporary kind of emergency shelter situation. And our goal is to be open by January 4th and to stay open until April 1st. And that is right now operating Monday through Friday. We're hoping that we can also do weekends, but we feel more comfortable kind of opening soft and seeing what we can handle. And the county ordinance right now allows for 24 residents only per night. So that's what we're kind of sticking with. And then we also want to be able to connect people with other services, appropriate services that meet their needs, their more long-term needs. So kind of working with the continuum of care. And we'd also like to be able to gather information to help the county address homelessness in the future. So whatever we can do to, kind of get more data. So the challenges that we have right now are, of course, volunteers. You always need a whole lot of volunteers. But the major one that we're really hoping to get worked out is security. So that's been something that other warming centers have had issues with in the past, not really having security or having incidences at their locations. And so we're hoping that we can work with the city to kind of provide a job share situation, which I think you did with Lake Family Resource Center. Oh, the county did. I'm sorry, I misspoke. So yes, we're looking for security for the most part is our biggest thing. And then also a liaison. someone who we could have direct kind of, can be an in-between between us and you guys. In case we need anything, in case we have problems that arise, or in case we need to, kind of check on, what is allowed, what is not allowed. I think those are the two major things, major needs as far as
So, if I might, I'd like to tell you one of the ways that we see you helping us with the security, because I don't want there to be any question. What were they asking for? So 2 years ago, when the Lake Family Resource Center had the warming center, what the county did was they allowed county employees to take essentially a day off of work and to do a shift at the shelter overnight. And they allowed them to count those as work hours. And they were paid for those hours. It was volunteer in as much as the county did not say you have to do this. But the county said you may do it, and we will pay you a day's wages for it. So we would love to see the city do that, but we particularly would love to see the Lakeport Police Department do that 1 day a week only, 1 day a week for 13 weeks. And what our thought is, we believe, because there are 12 different churches that are part of pulling this warming shelter together. In addition to the 12 churches, we also have several community service agencies that are working with us, Redwood, Empire, NCO, all of the same people that are present in our community all of the time. So really, we think we're going to have enough volunteers. But the real problem that the last 2 shelters faced was they just couldn't control their security. And so our hope is that what we can have is off-duty, technically, not off-duty if they're being paid, I suppose, but off-duty officers who don't have to be armed, who just have to be present. They could even sleep, if they wanted to, in one of the sleeping rooms. But the idea that we have somebody on the campus, which would be at the Seventh-day Adventist Church on the corner of Park and Hill, somebody that has skill and training to deal with security issues beyond what we think we might. We are making the same request to several different agencies. I spoke with Brian Martin as the sheriff, and he said if the Board of Supervisors approved it, then he would go for it, but in no way would he want to say it on his own authority, which is why we are starting with the city instead of with the chief of police. So that we can be speaking to everybody at once and do things in the right order. But we do have some urgency because our open date is January 4th. As we came in today, one of the comments you said, we'll get you out of here before the door freezes. Well, I guarantee you that some of our homeless population are already freezing. And that's really that's the deadline that we'd like to meet. Do you have questions for us?
Council?
Well, this may go along, would our volunteers be applicable, or is that going maybe beyond their training? And when I speak of our police volunteers, they're actual uniformed police volunteers.
I don't believe it would be going beyond their training. We've used them for other similar things, and I wouldn't be opposed to meeting with these folks about it. Now, you said the location is going to be at the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and you realize that's not in the city limits?
I do.
Okay.
So we're looking at 5 different agencies, so no agency bears the brunt of it, allowing us to tap their people.
And I only ask that so I would know what we're dealing with. I wouldn't be opposed to still discussing with you and being involved, but since it's in the sheriff's jurisdiction, I would also want to discuss with him before I have law enforcement doing any type of work, whatever it may be outside of my jurisdiction. We do work out of our jurisdiction, but we want to have an agreement with the sheriff's office as well. So volunteers or officers, I would be opposed to discussing that with you if council has direction on this.
Well, and Chief, Mr. Mayor, they did a presentation at Lake Transit Authority, and part of the plan that I want your input on is doing a bus pickup and drop off. And anyway, I want your input of the location for that and timing and.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
I definitely think it's, obviously, we ourselves have seen, some homeless folks, unfortunately here, in the city, and it's not a common thing, but I can't possibly imagine what it must be like to be on a night like last night. So, and I've seen the full presentation that Taylor did in front of the Board of Supervisors. So I definitely think that we can find some way to help, because really we're helping ourselves at the same point in time. So if we can come together with Sheriff Martin and the Chief, we can put something together and council is agreeable, I think.
And if I may, I mean, our officers do encounter these individuals on nights like last night or this week, and you know, it's difficult when we encounter somebody that we don't have any assistance that we can necessarily provide. So I agree with anything that's positive to try to help people.
Well, also, if the chief, anyone else? Okay, if the chief is willing to set up a meeting too, to discuss this, I would like to sit in on that as well. I've done a number of neighborhood watch things with the police department, tried to work with them as much as I can. I'd be willing to do that, and I know I've had small dealings with Pastor Shannon before in the past, just not very much, but you can be very persuasive, which is a good thing. And so I would volunteer that to my time to do that. So.
I think you just talked yourself, Mr. Mayor, into the liaison position.
No, I'm not sure if they were looking for that, but we'll discuss that.
Okay, so who would you like us to contact first in terms of setting up that appointment? Brad or yourself?
I'll handle it if that's
Yeah,
council.
and then we'll just, the three of us can stay connected on that, and then we can set up a time to meet and at least discuss it.
Okay, so we should call you tomorrow? We should wait tonight?
Yeah, I knew she was going to.
I want to be very specific. What is the next step?
So here's my cards. Just call or email me tomorrow.
Okay, we will do that. Thank you very much.
Taylor, thank you. Pastor Shannon. All right, next we will move on to item 7, council business, and this will be the city clerk. Our first item is item number 1, which is appointments to the Lakeport Economic Development Advisory Committee. We're going to appoint members to the Lakeport Economic Development Committee effective January 1st, 2016 and expiring December 31st, 2017, and or direct staff to continue to advertise the open seats. And Kelly, this is you.
Yes. Good evening again, Mayor and members of the council. The Lakeport Economic Development Committee, otherwise known as LEDAC, exists to advise the city council, city manager, and staff on developing programs and strategies for economic development in the city, establishing and maintaining regular communication between the city and the business community, evaluating community needs and desires for economic development, and focusing on commerce solutions to enhance the quality of life of the Lakeport community. That being said, the committee has 11 members, and there are 5 whose terms are expiring. We have 5 openings, we have 5 applications. There are 4 returning applicants that have sat on the board, and 1 new one, which would be Panette, who would represent the Main Street Association. So if the council so desires, they can invite the applicants to come forward and make a short presentation. We do have Panette here, and we have Christine Hutt, and I think that's it. So we have 2 of the applicants here.
The notes on that, I had it written as 3 openings and 5 applicants. Maybe I was mistaken.
No, there's 5.
Okay.
I think under the options, it says choose 3 members to serve.
Oh, yeah, that's why I was confused.
It is confusing. I think that might have just gotten left over from last year. So it is confusing, but there actually are 5 spots.
Okay. That's good. Council, do you have any questions of staff?
I do not.
I had one quick question, which is, I noticed on the applications that some of them have notations for 2 years, but it looked like on the staff report that they're only supposed to be appointed for a year. I just wanted to double check and make sure there wasn't an option there when we...
It's 2 years, January 1st of 16 all the way to the very end of 17, so it's 16 and 17.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if the person's appointed, they're appointed for 2 years, they can always withdraw prior to that time.
Okay. First up, we have Christine Hutt. Would you like to speak? You don't have to. Okay. Hey, come on. I haven't seen you in a while.
Good evening, I'm Christine Hutt, and I did reapply after sitting on the DAC committee for 2 years, a term of 2 years. And I reapplied because I really like being involved in matters pertaining to the city, and I like being involved with the community, and it's my way of helping to support our community in Lakeport.
Thanks, Christine.
Would you like the minutes to come up?
Yes.
Come on.
I say so.
This is our opportunity to put you on the spot.
It's the meeting that keeps giving.
I'm here because Barbara told me to. No, obviously, I'm interested in what happens in Lakeport. I would have never applied for the job that I now have. And this just seems like a natural step to join on this committee, to continue working to try to help the downtown thrive. So that's why I applied for it. And also I love getting up early and coming to early meetings. Fit right in with my schedule.
It's a wonderful group, if you would like them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So none of the other, I know St. John was not here, Pam and George are not here. Okay. Any members of the public like to speak on these candidates? Okay. David, if we have 5 openings and 5 applications, can we make a group? I know we had that discussion already, so in this case we could, or we could nominate them individually.
You can do it either way. You know, if somebody doesn't agree to all 5, you can just say no to that, and then nominate certain individuals.
Back to the pleasure of the council.
Mr. Mayor, I move to appoint the 5 applicants to Lakeport Economic Development Committee effective January 1, 2016 and expiring December 31st, 2017.
Second, and I'd just like to add that it was my great honor to work with LEDAC before I was elected to council, and we're very fortunate with all of the applicants that we have before us tonight. They're leaders of our community. They've made considerable difference while serving on LEDAC, and it would be great to have them back.
Wonderfully said. All those in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And any opposed? 5-0. Congratulations.
And Mr. Mayor? Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I would like to add that under your consent item, we've removed a person from LEDAC, so we will also begin actively trying to refill that slot.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Next, we have item 2 under council business. It's appoint to the Parks and Rec Commission. We're going to appoint 3 members to the Park and Rec Commission effective January 1st, 2016 and expiring December 31st, 2017. Further move to appoint 1 member to fill a current vacancy on the commission effective immediately and expiring December 31st, 2016. And again, back to Kelly.
So the Park and Rec Committee exists to advise the City Council on matters pertaining to the city parks and recreation, to cooperate with the Planning Commission and civic organizations to advance the sound planning of new recreation areas and facilities, to recommend from time to time policies on city recreation facilities to the City Council for consideration and approval. So what we have is a total of 4 openings on the Park and Rec Committee, 3 with terms expiring 2017 and 1 with a term expiring 2016. We have, for the 4 slots, we have 5 applicants. I did want to point out that 2 of the applicants have also applied for TSAC, Ann Blue and Suzanne Russell, so I don't know if that weighs into your decision making. And also Suzanne Russell does sit on the Planning Commission currently. So with that, there's any questions?
Any questions from council?
David, there's not a conflict issue there, right? You can sit on multiple At least between these, I mean, if they're Parks and Rec and traffic safety.
Yeah, it would be an incompatibility of offices issue, but these are all subordinate committees of the council, so there's no, they don't have, none of these committees have oversight over another committee.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? So we'll call up Adam Newell.
Hello, council. Thanks for having me here. I applied to be on a committee just from moving into town 5 years ago. I've noticed that there could be a lot younger input and a lot more things that could be focused more on the younger standpoint of how we can bring this community up and how we can make it better. And I just feel that I can be a big part of helping bridge the gap between the youth and where we're at now, so that way we can try to, bring it up and make it a lot better for everyone in the community instead of, piecing it together here and there. Pretty much it.
When do we get our handball courts?
Yeah, that's what I have.
My 501c3 just came in, and now we can start our fundraising, and fundraising should begin January. We have taken a step back on that because of the Valley fires, and then coming up on Christmas and everything too, we wanted to allow, instead of trying to take all the money from the community to build what we need, we wanted to sit and let everybody rebuild from the disasters that happened around, and then we're going to come back and focus on at the beginning of the year. We're planning on doing fundraisers at restaurants and bars around the county, and each one of those, I think we're going to do probably 4 or 5 months, and then try to do a restaurant and a bar each week around the county and do fundraisers. And then also we have a GoFundMe account up right now as well. And it's just, it's going slow because we wanted to, let the community heal before it went to try to grow.
Good plan.
Thank you.
What Adam's not telling us too is that he has been a fixture at our West Side Park meetings probably for most of the year. And he's been a great help. He doesn't look like a horse guy, but he knows a bit about equestrian stuff. So he's been a big help to the group that's trying to put an arena out there at the Phase 3 at West Side Park too. So, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Up next, we have Ann Blue. Ann Blue. Rachel Dean,
Rochelle Damiano.
Rochelle, say it again?
Damiano.
Damiana. I knew I was going to push it. No. Suzanne Russell is not here, and Cindy is not here. Are there any members of the public that would like to speak on these candidates? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to council, either for a group nomination or individual nominations.
Well, I was just going to make, one comment. I've been very, very close friends with Rochelle for a great many years, and I know that she's actually becoming more involved here locally. And although I think she'd be a great commissioner on there, but there may be some other committees out there that she's also looked at that I think that she'd be better. I'm not speaking for her, but the fact that Adam is here, and I know how integrated he's been and integral with the Westside Park, that Adam would have, my support. And of course, I think our current commissioners are doing a good job. And I would be supportive of reinstating them and adding Adam to the list. That's my 2 cents.
So are you saying Rochelle would rather do some other committees?
Yeah, I mean, she's passionate about this as well, but I think that there's going to be a better place for her.
Okay.
We would also have to specify who is filling the
That's
yeah.
right.
Given the complexities of this item, perhaps it would be better to use the normal nomination procedure whereby voting is taken based on whoever's nominated first.
Well, with that, then I would nominate Adam Newell for the currently vacant position that will be expiring December 31st, 2016.
Second.
Okay. we have a nomination and a second. All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
And any opposed? Congratulations, Adam.
Thank you.
And do we have a nomination for the 3 regular positions?
How many positions total?
There are 3
3 plus the
full-time,
1 year, oh, okay.
and 3 2-year, and then 1 year, which we just finished. So could we, if choosing, should we still do the others individually?
Yes, I think so.
We should do the others individually, as far as nomination.
Okay.
All right, then I would nominate Ann Blue for a commissioner position beginning December 17, 2013. Be appointed, excuse me. I'm looking at the old one. I would nominate Ann Blue to the Parks and Rec Commission for a term that will be expiring December 31st, 2017.
Second.
Okay, we have a nomination and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. I'd look for another nomination.
I nominate Suzanne Russell for the same term.
Second.
Okay, we have a nomination and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Good to go. And any other nominations?
I will nominate Cindy Estrid for the reoccurring, to be reappointed to the same terms
Okay.
Second.
We have a nomination and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? I believe we have our new commissioners. And again, congratulations, Adam.
as. Yeah.
You've shown a lot of enthusiasm, so,
I just want to be a part and help out.
well, you are now.
Yeah, now we can really lay it on to you.
Did we tell you all the other stuff it involves?
No, there was some fine print.
Yeah, there's fine print. Next, we have item number 3 under council business, which would be appointment to the Traffic Safety Advisory Committee. Appoint 3 voting members to the Traffic Safety Advisory Committee effective January 1st, 2016, terminating in December 31st, 2019, and direct staff to further advertise the remaining open seats. And again, Kelly, you're the star tonight.
I know, this is my night. Should have brought my own mic. So the Traffic Safety Advisory Committee has been kind of quiet with changing in our, this committee is led by the city engineering staff, which we now are just down to part-time staff. So under Kevin Ingram and coordinating with Paul Coran, our city engineer, they will get this back up and rolling again now that we have staffing settled within City Hall. So the Traffic Safety Advisory Committee advises the council on traffic safety, pedestrian safety, parking, as it relates to traffic safety. All of the seats on this committee are open. Some they do expire at different times. I believe, do I have that wrong, Hillary?
It shows a
Are they
3-year.
staggered? So we'll need to make sure that you identify the term.
Do we have that in the report?
You know, I'm sorry, but it looks like there's an error here because I think these are meant to expire in March.
They already expired, so.
They're already expired, but
But all those terms were, they weren't, all the terms were the same. It expired.
I thought they were all 4-year.
Yeah, they were all 4-year terms.
they are 4-year terms, but I think when you appoint them, they're supposed to expire in March. Yeah, so although the suggested motion says to terminate December 31st of 2019, that would actually be, I believe, March 1st of 2019.
Well, so the codes provide that they were all supposed to be appointed at the same time, but for staggered terms, so that once those terms ended, it would be staggered.
Yeah, I think there's one in there that talks about it being in March.
Yeah, commence on March 1st of the year.
but we still have 2 more openings. So can these 3 be the same term and then the next 2 openings be on a different?
If we have 3 people that want to be in there, we want to snag them for 4 years.
Yeah, because that would be just like council. Three spots,
Just leave it open.
and then staggered for the 2.
We've got how many?
So we have 3 applicants,
For 5 positions.
and we have, no, 6 positions.
Or 6.
Yeah, we have the insurance industry spot. That is, that hasn't been filled either.
So they've already.
Yeah, they're vacant. So the new slots should end 2019.
So could we,
Yeah. Well,
could we do a committee then with 3?
yeah.
Because then
I think that they are going to need to be staggered. We're not going to be able to put them all for 4 years.
Yeah, you're gonna want, well, 3 could be, and then if we get 4 more, then they could be on a different.
Is it a total of 6 or 7?
6.
6.
Okay.
We have 3 applicants, so those 3 could be
Oh, so
on the
okay,
same
so
cycle.
all right, one of those is the insurance person.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've ever had anybody, have they had an
So
insurance?
the ordinance provides that initially they were appointed, 2 were for 2 years, and then 3 were for 4 years. And then the insurance person was appointed. So that indicates to me that those 2 that are expired, right, but for also 4 years. So the 2 that are expired at the top, Stephen Jones and Vicky Cole, those would have, those, right, so they should have been appointed. So that they would have ended on, what, a year, 2 years before, so 20.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
We should have been appointing someone in 2015.
Yeah.
It goes to 2017.
So we should fill
So
those
2
2
would
spots
go to
first.
2017,
And then,
and the other 4 would go to,
so what's the date? Give us the date so we can.
So we need to appoint 2 that expire March 1st, 2017.
and 4, and 3 that expire 2019.
March 1st, 2019.
So you could theoretically appoint as many of those as you could, well, all 3, I guess, to the ones that expire 2019, which is what
Okay, got it.
So sorry for the confusion on that.
That's a yes.
So, but if we...
I thought it was over.
But then we should, if we find more
If
people.
we continue to recruit at any future council meeting, then we can do the offset term
They do
and
not.
appoint the others. Okay. Okay, well, good. So then we can still fly the open seats available.
Right.
Okay.
And just to let you know that we've sent out letters to all the local insurance agencies to try to capture that one insurance professional. And we haven't heard responses back yet, but we'll continue to monitor that and continue to try to advertise for the open seats.
We could take a poll up here of the 5 and see if we all have, a similar insurance agent, and then we could just, put the thumb screw to them.
Give them a call.
Well, hopefully we'll get some interest, because this, Pro Tem and I were at the leadership, actually, Councilmember Turner as well, the leadership conference at Marymount, and this was one of in the breakout sessions for each community of the county. This was one of their whiteboard items that was
The
on there,
traffic
was to
safety
bring back the
committee.
traffic safety committee. So it's good this is happening. So I would hope there would be some more interest, and maybe we just need to kind of pound the pavement a little more. We can
Agree.
get the industry folks in here too.
And they have not had a meeting this year, right?
No, they've not had a meeting in quite a while.
Are there any members of the public that would like to speak on the candidates?
When did they meet?
Not too often, real quick, no big deal.
George, are you interested?
I don't know. When did they meet?
As needed on the 3rd Wednesday of each month at 9 a.m.
Oh,
Third
it's
Wednesday?
right there.
But we emphasize as needed.
we might have another future candidate. Thank you, George.
Can someone get George an application?
Yeah, we'll get him an application. You really need to get it up here.
I think George is good.
All right. I'll bring this back to council for a motion for the 3 candidates that we have available.
I'll make a motion to appoint the 3 applicant voting members to the Traffic Safety Advisory Committee effective January 1st, 2016 and terminating March 1st, 2019, and direct staff to further advertise the remaining open seats and get George an application.
Second.
All right, we have a nomination for those 3 candidates and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. We're on our way to getting back a traffic safety committee. Let's see here. Lastly, we have item number 4 under council business, which is appointment to the Lake County Vector Control District Board of Trustees. Reappoint the incumbent George Spur to serve a 4-year term to the Lake County Vector Control District Board of Trustees, effective January 1st, 2016, and expiring December 31st, 2019. And right back at you, Kelly.
So the Vector Control Board is not an advisory committee to the City Council. They're a separate district and a separate board, but their makeup is made up of a member appointed by the City of Clear Lake, 1 appointed by the City of Lakeport, and 3 appointed by the County of Lake. And each trustee serves a term of 2 or 4 years. We were made aware that you can appoint your trustee for 2 or 4 years. So last time you did appoint Mr. Spur for 2 years. You do have the option of appointing him for 4 years if you don't want to be doing this again, if you feel confident in his abilities. If you'd like to see that changed every 2 years, then that's at the county's discretion. And Mr. Spur is here to answer any questions. But the Lake County Vector Control District obviously works to protect residents against visitors from vectors and vector-borne diseases. So.
Nasty vectors. Nasty vectors. Council, any questions of staff? Okay. George, would you like to come up and talk to us? We'll get you that application.
Yeah. Just sign on the dotted line. For those of you who don't know me, my name is George Spur. Lived in Lakeport for 12, 13 years now. Been on the Vector Control Board, and we're almost done getting everybody set up on Top Road. We're putting out another request for putting up a new metal building up there. Things that I would like to tell the council is if you're going to Hawaii, the Big Island is a problem. People are getting what they call the dengue virus over there, and so be careful if you go over there. You need to watch out for mosquitoes, along with Central America, another place that's having that problem. Last year in the state of California, 38 people died from West Nile virus in the state of California. So take the mosquitoes a little serious. Any questions?
Questions?
Do you have a preference on the 2 or 4 year?
I would think that the 4-year would probably be good and probably be my last term. Because after 4 years, I want to go out and do something fun.
You mean that's not fun?
Oh, yeah. They never let me get to ride the boats yet. So.
Can't we arrange that for him?
Actually, I was going to talk to the county, so get on one of their airboats. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Thanks for your application. It was well written.
Yes, thank you.
I did it myself this time. No, no crayons. No. Any more questions?
Okay, thank you.
You're quite welcome.
Or George, sorry, not me, George. Is there any public comment on George Spur as a candidate? Seeing that, I'll bring it back to the council.
I'll make a motion to reappoint the incumbent George Spur to serve a 4-year term to the Lake County Vector Control District Board of Trustees effective January 1st, 2016 and expiring December 31st, 2019.
Second.
Okay, we have a nomination and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? You're there. All right, thank you, George. Lastly, under council business, we have item B1, which is an application 2016-002. It's an approved application number 2016-002 with staff recommendations for the Lakeside Car and Boat Show to be held at Library Park August 12th and 13th, 2016. And Chief, this is you.
Yes, Mayor and council members, as you're aware, the event promoters for the 2016 Lakeside Car and Boat Show have presented the city with an application requesting use of city property, city facilities for this show. So with that, city departments have met with and worked with the promoters, one of them being Mr. Tony Barthel, who's here tonight and probably wishes to also speak on the item. And then Dave Lakotos, I believe. Lakotos is the other promoter. So in our work with them, we have mapped out what would be needed to facilitate that event. And that is the street closures, parking lot closures that would be required to make for a safe and effective event. Primarily those being all of the city parking between the north end of Library Park and the south edge of Fifth Street over by the Yacht Club, with leaving all of the Fifth Street parking lot north of Fifth Street available and open to the general public for that day, because we do need to have sufficient places for other members of the public to park boat trailers and things of that nature. And then we need some closures such as Park Street, and then 2nd Street between Main Street and the south side of City Hall here, as well as some controlled traffic on, I say controlled traffic, but we be for local traffic only, over on 4th Street, 3rd Street, and the alley behind City Hall. And that is to ensure that we don't impact an existing business, such as Park Place over on 3rd Street. And we do have a private residence up kind of between 3rd and 4th that they would need to be allowed some access in and out of there. And I think there is one other business on 4th Street. And then we've asked the event promoters to work with businesses and citizens, discuss with them the event, see if we can kind of get everything worked out. And then the same would be if for some reason a business comes in to where the, I'm sorry, I can't remember the name, but it was on Biggs over here on Park Street. So we would need to work with them as well if something comes up, somebody moves in there to open a business. The primary reason mostly on 3rd Street that we need controlled traffic is because we want to ensure that someone doesn't try to come in there with a boat trailer, because it's going to be very difficult to turn around any kind of a large vehicle or trailer, and at the same time allow business to be conducted over at Park Place. So we would need some staffing over there to probably try to make that happen, but we still plan on working with Mr. Barthel and Dave Lakotos on working all that stuff out. We understand that they are recruiting community service groups to try to help volunteer with this event. Right now they haven't been able to give us firm numbers, but we expect it to be a very, very large event. I mean, there could be a very significant amount of boats and cars coming up here. It should be a great event for the city. Hopefully it will bring in a lot of people in and fill up the hotels and the restaurants and all that kind of stuff. So we think it's a very positive event. We'd like to recommend that the council approve this event with the suggested required closures, unless council has any concerns about any of those that they want to discuss. I wanted to, just since we're getting this approved so early, make sure we have all the appropriate closures in place. If for some reason we need to reduce it, we can do that later if we don't require all this. But if we have council approval now, then we can just keep moving forward on this. So I would like to request that the event promoters keep in contact with Public Works and Police, say on a monthly basis, so we can keep knowledge of what's going on, how many people might be coming up, and be more effectively able to assist with you and work with you. And forgot the last thing I wanted to say right now, but essentially that's the recommendation from your city department staff that's been involved in meeting with them. So unless council has any questions, that's where we're at.
Thank you, Chief. Council?
Not so much questions. I was approached by Mr. Lakatos over the summertime and with the idea and said, there was a group of people, Tony included, that were part of the original email blast, and it caught fire relatively quickly. Thought it was a great idea. I sat in the first planning meeting. The chief was there as representatives from the sheriff's department and the stakeholders, and there was chili. So John, you should get chili when you come to the meeting. I'm just saying, let's get chili. And it really, for the act is almost together. It seemed like at this point the planning was already there, already starting to look at some potential issues that could happen. So I know that the chief, has been working on that. So I think this is the very type of event that we need here in our lake, and look forward to it coming to fruition. Council deems it so.
And I remember what I wanted to say. So, and the sheriff's office has already been involved, and they will do the appropriate lake closures, which will be their responsibility out there. However, between 9 and 11, we are going to need to temporarily close the boat ramps between First Street all the way down to Clear Lake Avenue by the Skylark. And that's for safety reasons, because some of the, as I understand, there may be a boat that's up to 200 miles an hour.
Well, we don't.
150 miles an hour.
I don't know if we're going to go.
What's that, Tony? Come on.
No, the fastest boat in the U.S. right now is Problem Child, which is 216 miles an hour on a calm lake. And Problem Child, if they can finish rebuilding it because it crashed, will be here. But not on the water. So, but it will be. It's a huge draw, and so the objective is. Well, if you have a few moments, and as you said, you're captive, the objective is to pitch this as a 3-day event. So Friday, of course, there's concert in the park. Well, we don't have to do anything for that, but it's, I talked to Alan over at Bicoastal, they're going to try to get Decades, so it's the appropriate band for this. And then Sunday, I've already arranged to have a bunch of these people go to Boutique and Moore Family for a cruise up in the hills. So that's going to generate room sales. That's the idea. And this event is between Hot August Nights in Reno, which is a gigantic car show, and the Pleasanton Good Guys show. And we're physically between them, and the date is between them. So we've already got guys who've made 3- and 4-day reservations at some of the hotels. So
Very nice.
it's it's designed to generate traffic. So we're also going to have some of the boats do exhibition runs on the lake between 9 and 11 in the morning. So, and some of these boats are really fast and really impressive, and hopefully gives people the idea that we're open for business up here, and it's fun to go out on the water at 100 and some miles an hour.
And I wanted to note as well too, so that's what we propose now is these temporary ramp closures. They have also discussed with the business, Disney's Water Sports, who uses First Street to launch, to make sure we don't impede their business either. We don't want to affect any existing business.
In fact, sorry.
I'm sorry. So for the safety reasons, I mean, the time may change a little bit when we get down the road, but we will also make sure the city does a lot of advertising and press releases and notice, so that anyone who wants to get on the lake prior to this event, they can come launch earlier in the morning. Make sure we keep that word out, and then they can be out on the lake while these things are going on, as long as they don't come back across the sheriff's closure out on the water. And then, of course, they'll be done at the latest by 11, I believe, because once the wind comes up, they can't run these fast boats anyway. So.
We had talked with, we're still formulating, there's a bunch of stuff that's set and some that's we're working on. We're working on having, so Disney actually makes extra money. The whole idea is everyone makes extra money, and all of the proceeds for this go to Operation Tangle Mike, by the way. That's the charity that we're supporting. We're working on a program where we have pontoon boats from Disney sponsored out in, far off in the water, so that people can actually go and see the boats out there, and it actually helps Disney's business, doesn't hurt it. So and then all our beer and wine are going to be local. So it's going to be, definitely promote the community. There will be, the vendors that we're doing, we're not charging them in advance for vendor booth. At the end of the day, we'll come to them and say, so how'd you do? So what kind of donation are you going to make to Tango Mike? So if they don't do well, then no problem. But if they do really well, then gives Tango Mike some extra money. And we've already signed up some people who actually make stuff here in Lake County, or in Lakeport, actually.
Yeah, that's a great format. I know I talked to Alan today at the Main Street board meeting, and the whole Main Street group is really excited about this this event. It sounds like it's perfect timing, perfect location. It's going to work out really well, I think.
Yeah, we outgrew Canocta Vista last year, so we got, now we're thinking of 2017 and what we do there. But I think we're going to do pretty well here. And the good thing is everybody's been so great to work with. Chief Rasmussen, the Chamber, the Sheriff's Department, like everybody, of course, Martin.
Are we still planning on the night of fire after the concert
Yes.
in the park?
Okay, so some of these boats run on alcohol, and when you fire them up in the dark, you see these blue flames shoot up in the air. And so we've talked about setting aside a little bit of the parking for 4 or 5 of these boats, and after the concert in the park, to kind of help promote the show, we're going to light the boats off one at a time. And you'll hear them without any amplification from a block or 10 away. So just to say, hey, come back tomorrow, you'll see these things on the water.
And I apologize for not mentioning that, but we have an area secured already that we can get 6 boats on trailers in.
Awesome.
And so that's going to be a done deal. As long as Tony gets done by 10 o'clock, so I don't get any...
Right, of course, yeah.
We're just going to give his cell phone number out.
Yeah, give his
all the
number
noise
out.
complaints.
Everybody has it at this point.
Who doesn't like blue fire, too?
Yeah.
Any other
Lots of
questions for
noise.
Tony from council? No, it sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. It's a great group of people to work with, so this is going to be good for Lake County, I hope.
Well, we appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Excellent.
Does anyone out in the public have a comment on this? No? Then
Adam's
we'll-
bringing his cars.
Okay. I'll bring this back to council for either further discussion or a motion.
Well, the one thing that I wanted to kind of bring out, because every time something comes up, we have to discuss it in a public forum, but we can't necessarily chew the fat like in other sessions. So the question that I have is that when do you see, for example, Chief needs 2,400, Public Works needs 2,400, that's or 2,500, so it's like $5,000, and then the sheriff's going to have some impact because they're going to be out in the lake, so it's like $6,000 that the city's out. And this is going to be a great event. I mean, it's going to bring in a lot of people. What if it wasn't handled by some real promoters that have experience doing this? What do we, and this is why I'm bringing this up, because we get to talk, because everybody knows about this. Where do we start drawing the line and going, well, we're going to have, maybe a pirate thing, and it costs $5,000 and there's 50 people there. Is there some kind of, because I haven't been on the council that long, it's 3 years now, where does it become too financially onerous to the city, or do we have to rubber stamp these things because it could be an economic driver? How does everybody feel about it? I mean, when does it get to be too much? 2,500, 2,000 for the sheriff. When does it become so much of a burden that we have to just say no as a council because we think that it's not really going to fly? And we just want to get some feeling on that, so in the future when a not so great event comes up and we don't have time to discuss it ahead of time because it's illegal, I just want to cheat. You've been around here longer than
Yeah, so basically what we've done with those is that we do charge certain events when there's a cost to provide resources. Typically that's when that is a kind of a profit type business. If it's been community events where all the money's going back to the community, we typically have not requested billing on any type of resource cost. On the, I think, did I say, if I said 2,400, I mean, I'm giving you an estimate that's high enough to make sure that council's not surprised later that, oh, the chief said 1,000, but he really spent 3,000. If anything, that number would go down. In this case, I think that was a high estimate, but I just don't know what my regular staffing is going to be this far away, and how many volunteers are going to be there versus do I need to bring in another police supervisor or how many officers. So that's just kind of, that's what I've seen. That's where we've been as far as the police department goes. And it's not something I'm asking the council for that amount of money. Typically when we do our fiscal year budget, when I'm looking at overtime and resource costs, in my budget, and Public Works does the same thing. They look at, how many events do we have to run, approximately how many staff hours are going to be out there, what do we think our overtime budget should be, so we're not having to go back to council and say, we're out of money to pay for events. We try to, now granted this is a new event, it's another event added on top of the many events we already have, but I don't believe it's going to be a significant impact on the police budget. It could cost upwards of the $2,000, but if anything, it'll go down. So I think that's where I'm at.
Well, it's just that I feel that, we're responsible to the citizens of Lakeport, and in a case like this, it looks like it's, fun for all, and it's going to be a great time. But in the future, if something came along and it was like really narrow focused and it didn't apply to a lot of people and they felt that their tax money was being abused in some way, shape, or form, rather than embarrass somebody and run them out of here, if we had some kind of criteria, or if this is just something we just obviously take it case by case and look at it and say, oh, $7,000, and how many people are going to be served, and how do you know that? It's just, I like to be able to walk out and meet somebody on the street and say, yeah, we made this decision based on the fact that we think it's going to do a whole lot of good for the city, and it's going to far outweigh the costs to the police department and public works. That's just what.
Even before being on council, I did see several times that the police department or public works went through and said, you guys are going to have to pony up this amount. And sometimes it was that case where the event was either, I don't want to say hokey, but it just was, well, it was.
But you did.
No, we did. We have turned down events.
Yeah.
And I can
Or given
remember,
them new requirements that made it so the event just wasn't really going to work. And so right now it is case by case. One day maybe we'll have so many events and we'll be budgeting so far out there that we will have to look at it closer. But right now it's just awesome to have such a huge event coming. And we're budgeted for it.
Yeah, I just don't, I don't ever like to be in a position to be arbitrary. I like to have some kind of quantification or some kind of numbers thing.
I don't think we're there yet because we don't have enough applications.
Yeah. But I agree with what you're saying, and on this one, this event, if they were complete strangers that came, that I sat into a meeting with, I would have had a lot more reservations with, us spending our funds from Public Works and from the police department, especially as much area this is going to take, the type of closures it's going to do, the impact it will have on our citizens that may not be fans of this type of item. But I think the investment, the return on our investment for this warrants it.
Oh, absolutely.
And I do agree on a case by case, especially this is brand new, and just the one meeting I sat on and the email thread I've been involved with, so far I've been nothing but impressed with the class act, and they've dotted their I's and crossed their T's, and I agree that as our stewardship of public funds, I think this one, this is a good one.
and Councilmember Bartlett, one specific case popped into my head where the event came before council and the police department had said that, it has to have security, and this is what it's going to cost, and we weren't going to do it for free in that case, and the council required that event to be approved. They were going to have to pay $700 or $800, whatever it was, to provide that police security. So I have seen those occasionally come up to council.
Well, I feel better now.
Well, in defense of Councilman Parlett too, all the stuff that was in the report that was exciting, Tony, the two things I highlighted was the two economic amounts, yeah. So, I looked at that too. So, anyone else?
I have just a thought on that.
Come on up.
Because our objective with this whole event is to generate top tax dollars and sales tax on Main Street and have it be a net plus for everybody. I wonder if you could have some sort of a guesstimate worksheet type of thing for a promoter to come in and say, okay, what do you think the impact's going to be? And if they're not generating room sales and restaurant sales and that kind of thing, it's like, well, no, this is costing us money, not. Because, as I said, the goal with this, the way we pitch this is a 3-day event, but you can stay longer. And we already know of room sales that are being generated. So, yeah, that's the idea. The idea is to have it be a net plus. So I guess if we filled out a form that said, well, here's the impact we think we're going to have, and it's like, well, we think we're going to, honestly, I have a feeling we're going to have trouble with more people than rooms in the area if this goes the way I think it will. And so we'll say, well, we have, all these room sales, and then of course those people are going to eat, and and Saturday night we're going to the drive-in and that kind of stuff. So,
Well, when we've got a number of different organizations, and City Council was privy to the report for the Canocti Challenge put on by the Rotary Club, and Jennifer Strong is very comprehensive in her numbers and showing how many riders come from outside the area, and it makes our decision-making process much more easier. Whereas, like you said, if we added a page on there in the application, maybe something we can look at that says, what are your financial impacts, do you think, in a positive way that might lead the council to believe that this is a great, good opportunity. I think that would be something that would be kind of nice, but it's not something that's required. But when Jennifer comes up here, and then we have this great comprehensive plan with all the sponsors and all that stuff, it looks great. But I'm just looking down the line, if something else comes up, and it's like, really, and you use the word hokey, and it's $4,000 or $5,000. The chief can send them some discouraging news, so you're going to have to pay for this. And I understand that. It's just that it's nice to always be looking into the future about how we might be able to make our applications more user-friendly, so that our decision-making process is more methodical and based on facts and projections, rather than just saying, yeah, well, I like it. Well, how do you feel? Well, I don't know. It's hokey.
Jennifer can probably tell you the specific dollars of restaurant sales that her attendees. She is really thorough and really good at that event.
Well, anyway, thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Tony. Great, my first day up here, and I'm going to be known for hokey events. Not you, Tony. Not you. On camera. I know. Unless there's any other questions, I would entertain a motion, if there is one.
Mr. Mayor, I would move to approve application number 2016-002 for the Lakeside Car and Boat Show at Library Park, August 13th, 2016.
Second.
Okay, I have a nomination and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? We're on. Woo! Thank you, Tony.
Going to be a fun weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
And noisy.
I'm going to come down to see the blue flame. So, there we go. All right. We'll end out here tonight with item number 8, City Council communications. Sorry. Item 8, miscellaneous reports. And actually, if nobody minds, I'm going to do this a little bit different. I'm going to go through staff first.
That's how we always do it.
I was going to say, sometimes they bring up items that,
Then we can talk
and then
about.
we can talk about it as it comes back through us. So, actually, since Kelly's over there chatting, I'll start with Kelly.
I did want to mention that we also have a vacancy on the Planning Commission. Ross Copper has put in his resignation, and so as you're out there hunting down insurance people and traffic safety advisory committee members, if you are in contact with the community and you have somebody in mind that you'd like to encourage, send them our way and we'll give them an application. Hopefully we'll be getting that slot filled soon.
David?
Happy holidays. Nothing to report.
Perfect. Chief?
Yeah, so just quickly, I want to mention that we were fortunate to get invited today by the Lake County Deputy Sheriff's Association, who was partnered with, I believe it was called the Bay Area Deputy Sheriff's Foundation, or something similar, with an event that they funded down in Walmart in Clear Lake, where they had 60 kids that were affected by the Valley Fire that were selected to each be able to spend $200. So everybody was, they were each partnered up with a police officer or deputy or whatever peace officer was there, and we got to go shop with the kids, and they could buy whatever they wanted for $200. So it was very, we were happy to be invited and be involved in that. It was an awesome morning over there. And then in addition to that, on Friday morning, we'll have 3 or 4 officers over at Victim Witness again with all the other outside agencies. And Victim Witness got quite a few gifts have been donated by St. Mary's that we're going to deliver to crime victim kids around the county all day on Friday. So we'll be involved in that, and then Merry Christmas.
Mark?
Nothing to report.
Hillary? Okay. Councilman Parlett?
I was privileged to get the monthly phone call from Ken Saderlin, and I was chastised for not getting, because he's not hooked up into email and can't text him. I'm trying to put together a comprehensive kind of a report so that I can make sure that we know what he needs and what he doesn't need, so that when we meet together, it will be effective and it will be handled in a professional manner, and all the parties will be notified via email except for him, but I have to mail it to him, and I have been so busy I haven't been able to do that. And so I feel that there's a lot of pressure that I'm under here to get him taken care of, because he's been going on for many, many, many years. I think it's well over a decade, to try and revise the floodplain map in the area of Meller and 16th and down where he lives, so that his flood insurance and his neighbors can go down. Quite frankly, I thought that with the flood and FEMA being a little busy, that maybe this wasn't high on their list of, and they would probably summarily reject any application because they're too busy. So I wasn't really hot on this, but he's been very hard on me and some of the other council members and the city manager about the way that we've handled this. So I feel responsible in getting him a letter, at least in the mail, before the end of the year. Other than that, I would like to compliment, I was privy to the 600 different people that are getting free Christmas baskets through the efforts of Bruno's and the Lake County Publishing, or the Record B, and the Rotary Club. They went through and they've got 600 names of different needy families, and the Rotary Club will be putting those together tomorrow with the help of Bruno's. People will line up 600 cases of groceries broken up and then lined up, and then we put them together in various things. So there's going to be 600 different boxes going out to feed families around the county, and from all over, and a lot of work done by Lake Family Resource Center, and they should be appreciated for the work that they, very, very tedious, all the names, the addresses, the phone numbers, and when they're going to pick it up. And it was like 34 sheets, and they had to condense them down to 17. A lot of work, but the Rotary Club will be putting those together tomorrow and giving them all away. And that's a great project to make sure we bring some Christmas cheer into some otherwise difficult times for some people. So, and other than that, right after that, at 1 o'clock, I will be going in for eye surgery to get my torn retina from last year, which eventually turned into a cataract. So I've only been able to see halfway. That'll be taken care of tomorrow. So next time I see you, I will see you clearly. So, out of both eyes.
And you'll stop walking in circles?
Yes. And I'd like to wish everyone a very, very happy holiday season and happy Merry Christmas.
Thank you. I thought you were just winking. I haven't used this term for a couple of years, but Councilman Shield.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Last night I attended a BLM briefing, Bureau Land Management briefing there at the courthouse, and they have a very extensive plan coming up, an approval from the high-ups at BLM for an aggressive maintenance campaign for multi-use trails that are on South Cal and North Cal, as well as new trails. And they're getting ready to start applying for a lot of grant funding, so which is good timing, and it's going to start immediately, which will be nice with losing bogs, probably, well, at least for a year, maybe 2. That they'll be continuing to work out there for all trail users, hikers, equestrians, mountain bikers, moto. And so it was very positive, and it was one of the few times when dealing with the BLM that they really opened up and are a pro user. They want stuff to get done, and they're really going to lean on the community to make it happen, which is good, because it really happens faster with that. So that was good news. This upcoming Saturday, the 19th, will be the celebration of life for Chief Wells, Kelseyville High School, 1 p.m. wish to attend. And beyond that, have a very Merry Christmas, safe New Year, and happy holidays. And we'll see you next year.
Perfect, thank you. Councilwoman Turner?
I have nothing to report.
Pro Tem?
It was great to have Santa at City Hall and a ton of little kids. Next year, we're hoping for an even bigger event. I think we'll start planning in January. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. I have just one thing. On the 9th of January, the fire chief has asked me to sit on a interview panel. They're going to look to hire 3 limited-term firefighters. So I'm going to do a little bit of homework and meet with him before that date and sit in there with some other individuals and select a few part-time firemen that they can get some good references for and hopefully help them out with their careers down the line, help out the fire department. Other than that, Merry Christmas. And that would be it. We'll adjourn.
Congratulations.